I feel like unpopular opinion though. That was fine. That's a fine beer. Busch Light is the easiest beer to chug. I really do believe that.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back to another episode of Two Drunk Guys and a Football Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Skinny Domestic.
And Marcus the Hammer Mary.
As you guys saw, our shotgun there, using our Krakens, the unofficial sponsor of Two Drunk Guys.
Yep. Damn right. Shout out to Kraken. We love you. We love using you.
Yes, I love it so much. I love having that little bit of beer at the bottom of my can every time. Yes. I love that.
Yeah, well, Skinny's known not to finish his beers. So
if you want an easy cleanup though, it's real nice, very nice, real nice. Got a little keychain thing, very convenient. If you don't got a knife, if you don't got keys, use it to make your hole.
It makes a good hole though.
Yeah, it makes a decent hole. All right. Excuse me.
Skinny's dying.
I don't know what just happened there. All right. With the episode, got news, AFC Championship games, bad betting. Gonna break down some playoff standouts or standout. I don't know. Whatever. Some good, bad moves that teams made during the season, for the 2023 season. So free agency all the way through the season. Talk about the UFL a little bit, just kind of brief. That's something that's going to be coming up here soon. And yeah, just a nice, easy, quick pod today. So to get started, Marcus, why don't you start us off with the news?
Crazy news. It actually, of course, every single time a coach gets hired or something, it always happens after we're done with the podcast. Or, big news always comes on Thursdays. It's kind of crazy, or like later Wednesday night. But Jim Harbaugh is the Chargers' new head coach, which is cool. I mean, I know why he did it. Low-hanging fruit. Guy that's already established as a above average head coach in the NFL, and obviously a really good head coach in college after this year. So I think it's a decent hire. They need that defense needs to get better. And I feel like there's pieces. It just depends on what they'll do with offensive coordinator that really make the difference on offense. But defense, I think, should be better.
Yeah, I was excited for them to have more there with him. With that offense, you build... Because what the Chargers need is they need the Dan Campbell, mentality. Like, they need not just you have the talent and go play. You need a true head coach bringing that team together, and that's what Harbaugh is going to do. He's going to bring everybody together, get everybody truly on the same page, build an actual culture that Brandon Staley was not able to build. Now, You lose Moore as your offensive coordinator. Now, what do you bring in? That's going to be the big thing is, do you bring in, Brian Johnson's available, Brian Johnson's available, take him, see how that goes. I don't know. Yeah, of course, that news, Nick Saban, Bill Belichick, him, they always sign literally right after we get done recording, so it's like, well,
yeah,
stupid.
It's been So now Bill Belichick's going to go to Seattle. You heard it here first, folks.
Well, if you didn't see the news already, he's not going to Seattle because Seattle's hiring Mike McDonald.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Mike McDonald. Who the hell is that? Why am I blanking?
The Ravens defensive coordinator.
Oh, really? Yeah. I don't know.
Breaking news 3 hours ago.
Wait, let me see the guy again.
Well, it's probably not going to be pretty.
He kind of looks like KOC, dude, from that picture, but it's not fully great. But yeah, nice. Mike McDaniel. I don't know why I didn't know the Ravens offensive coordinator.
Yeah. No, yeah, defensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator, sorry.
Yeah, he's
Well, they had
going.
that one guy. Who was the one guy that they had for their offensive coordinator? You probably don't know. I'm just probably asking a question. The
Yeah,
one that was really good with Lamar that they talked about all the time.
I don't know. You're just asking questions at this point. I don't. I don't pay attention to all that stuff all the time. Like coordinators and assistant coordinators and some of those guys.
You know the good ones.
Yeah, but yeah, the Seahawks just hired him. So, Commanders are the only team without a head coach, which Dan Quinn sounds like he might be the guy at this point. But Bill Belichick's just waiting to see. He's waiting for the Giants or the Cowboys position to open up next year. He's just waiting. Let them all fail.
Do you think he'd go to the Giants? I don't feel like the Giants would be a good fit for him.
I don't know. He's just waiting for something else.
He wants the Cowboys. I could see him go. I feel like coaches like that, like Sean Payton, they go for that low hanging fruit, something that like is good enough that they feel like kind of like how Brady goes to Tampa, who had a decent defense, and then has a good offensive line and has established receivers, and kind of goes to make a super team. Basically, I feel like that's what they're looking for, just to build on their legacy, because at this point they don't want to rebuild a team from the ground up.
Yeah, definitely. What else do you got for news?
Arthur Smith is the Steelers' new OC. Shout out to Lil Austin.
Oh man!
So next year, anyone that likes Najee Harris or Jalen Warren or
George Pickens or
basically
Deontay Johnson.
George Pickens, Deontay Johnson. Basically, he's going to bring the worst out of everyone, because that's what he does. You go from Matt Canada, who I think is probably the worst offensive coordinator in the league this year, to the worst head coach in the NFL, the worst offensive coach in the NFL. You could have picked anyone. You could have picked me, and I could have done a better job with that offense.
Now, Pat Freiermuth is not going to see any. You know who's going to see all the targets?
Damn, dude, I didn't think about that.
Connor Hayward. He's going to be their backup tight end is going to. Their backup tight end is going to be the one to lead their receiving and receptions and all that through like week 14, and then finally something is going to go change for them. But for right now,
I will bet you. Who's that white wide receiver that they have? The Gunther Gurkowski or whatever, the guy that was a Patriot that they got rid of.
Oh, probably.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he'll be number one now.
Oshetsky, yeah, Gunner Oshetsky. He's gonna be the main target, guarantee it.
Jeez, I feel so bad for Steelers fans, but I don't know what the organization.
Dude, I would too. That's a bad move. That's a very bad move. But what are you gonna do?
Got any more?
No, that's all I have for.
All right, so news. I keep track of the things. Defensive end for the Chiefs, Charles Emmanuel. I don't know how to say his last name.
Charles O, great player.
Yeah, Charles O. Yeah, we'll just go Omenihu. I don't know how to say his name. It's one of those names.
I think it is Omenihu.
Oh, it is? Okay. Well, at least you know how to pronounce it. Tore his ACL, so that'll be big for the Chiefs since they are playing in the Super Bowl. As we'll dive into that a little bit later. But defensive guy, you lose. Just one less guy to get to the pass rush and get to the quarterback. So,
yeah,
impactful to them.
Sucks for him.
Falcons hired Raheem Morris. Definitely better than having Arthur Smith. So go Falcons. I think it's a good pickup. Panthers.
That was the Jets' old head coach before Saleh, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Nice. I mean,
the Panthers were able to find somebody that's willing enough to be the head coach. Dave Canales. They got him. He was with the Bucks. He was their OC. Why he left the Bucks, I don't know. Why he wanted to go to the Panthers, I don't know. But he got like a 4 or 6 year fully, like, because all coaching contracts, head coaches are fully guaranteed. But I think he got like a 6 year contract out of it. So even if they can him in a year or two, he's still getting paid at least the next couple of years from the Panthers.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked that somebody was willing to walk into that garbage fire.
People want to get paid. I mean, think about it. When like the Bucks were really decent this year, but when would he get another chance
Yeah, that's true.
at being a head coach plus the pay of it? So
Yeah.
I get it.
Top head coach candidate that a lot of teams were going after. Ben Johnson has opted to stay in Detroit, continue to be a part of that culture. They got super close, made a deep playoff or decent playoff run, deep playoff run, whatever you want to call it. Think they have a shot. He keeps it up. That offense was very good this year, so just basically run it back.
Yeah, it might. This might have been the Lions' only shot at the Super Bowl, too. To be honest,
Yeah,
since the NFC was so weak, honestly,
very
this
well.
year. So
Yeah, we'll see how next season goes, but they're in the books to run it back, which smart to do.
yeah, good for them.
Keyshawn Butte, charged for illegal gambling, former LSU star. Per records and warrants, he made over 8,900 total bets between the time that he was technically wasn't even able to gamble because he wasn't the age of gambling. Then he was betting on his own games, and now the NFL, I think, is getting involved because they're making sure he's, to look into if he's betting in like Patriots games and stuff like that. So, and the NFL games while he was in the NFL. So, guy's career might be over, probably over. It was crazy. He had put in over $100,000 into sports betting apps, had won over $500,000 and only cashed out like 50 grand, or just like, it's just, oh man.
He won 5 times the amount that he put in.
Yeah, but he cashed out like $50,000. Like, there's like some record of like warrants on it that he had like put in like $130,000, and not like all at once. I mean, this is like throughout the whole time, but like,
No, but I'm saying this guy's got a 5-to-1 ratio. This guy's making fucking money,
yeah.
Skinny.
But you also have to think about that doesn't just because he's
Got insider information.
That just because he's betting that doesn't mean he's cashing it all out. Like, he could win $10,000 on a bet, and he's betting that $10,000 on something else and losing it. So, who knows? Who knows?
But he still only put 100 in there. So
100,000
500 made it 500.
Yeah. But again,
500,000.
Yeah, but if you put in $100,000 into sports betting, you win 500,000, but you bet it all, you're out $100,000. I mean, so whatever. Stupid, just stupid. Especially because you got even bigger problems with betting. Now you're going to be looked into betting on NFL games too, and all that other stuff. It's ridiculous.
Skinny. Not everyone can have the self-discipline of Laquan Treadwell going to a Minneapolis or a Minnesota. What's it called?
Casino.
Casino. Not everyone can have that discipline and put $30 or $20 on roulette.
No, he was playing blackjack. $25 blackjack.
Oh, you're right. I thought it was 20. I think it was 20.
No, it was 25.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
Still sad.
I've never
dude.
been to a casino with 20, but 25 makes sense.
25. Well, you know more, but still, not everyone can have that self-discipline like Laquan Treadwell. So I don't know.
Yeah, millions.
Plus, you need to stop fucking sports again.
Yeah, if you're a student athlete, like, the only thing that you could bet on are non-sponsored sports. So you could do like boxing and like non-NCAA sponsored sports. So you could do like boxing, MMA, NASCAR, but like Everything else is pretty much like you could bet
Couldn't
on.
you do NFL?
No, you can't because it's NCAA
Why?
sponsored, or like there's a championship for it. So like you have a football championship, so you can't bet football game. Like it's stupid. I think you should be able to bet or like you can't bet. Yeah, it's a nightmare of a mess. So like if you're a football player, you should be able to bet on like basketball games, but whatever. But you can bet on like boxing and NASCAR and MMA and probably like Chinese league basketball and shit like that is my guess. But it's just stupid, and it is career. I mean, there's no after all this. I don't think he's gonna get on a team, especially if it comes out that he was betting on NFL games too. I imagine even if that didn't happen, I imagine if the NFL at the NFL level, even though he did it in college, they're still going to pull some bullshit and suspend him. It's going to happen. It's how the NFL works. Some bullshit misconduct.
I don't know. They really haven't suspended people for a while, it seems like.
Well, because nobody's been caught.
Well, people have done stuff. I mean, they did what Jamison Williams, but like with stuff like that they do, but they haven't like suspended people like indefinitely.
Is what I'm saying.
I know, but indefinitely. Jamison Williams was
but
doing
Keyshawn
sports.
Butte, what was he even doing in the season? You know, no one. I don't know. Lastly, just some quick Pro Bowl replacements that I find complete horseshit. Geno Smith gets a second Pro Bowl for replacing people, but Jordan Love doesn't get a Pro Bowl. Bullshit. And then this is the one that got me. Gardner Minshew, as much as I love Minshew, is a Pro Bowler now. You want to know who didn't get the replacement Pro Bowl?
Oh,
Josh Allen. Led the league in total touchdowns and didn't get to be a Pro Bowler.
Dude, Josh Allen's the most disrespected quarterback in the league. Like, I remember last year, like, he's overrated. This year, it's like, it gets to a point where, like, people talk so much shit about a quarterback. It's like, well, that's not all true. Like, he had a good season.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, Josh Allen, I mean, fuck it, dude. Mustache Mania, Minshew Mania. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I was, dude, the Pro Bowl has become such bullshit, but, like, that's just like, what the fuck? Come on. Like, these two other quarterbacks clearly deserve it over these guys. Whatever. All right, getting into the AFC Championship game. Chiefs 17, Ravens 10. Travis Kelce had 11 catches, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. Zay Flowers, in his AFC debut, had 5 catches, 115 yards, and a touchdown. Ravens offense looked like trash. The Chiefs didn't even look that good, but the Ravens made it look even, had turnovers and looked even worse.
They blew the game. A lot of misplays. I mean, obviously everyone's gonna dog on Zay Flowers for diving into the end zone. Then it was a fumble, but I don't know. Lamar Jackson did throw it into triple coverage, and there was a pick. So, like, I feel like that team didn't did not show out. That defense was obviously decent enough to hold Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce to 17 points is good, but Chiefs got a good defense too.
Yeah, the Ravens let that go. I mean, they could have easily won this, but they, like, one of the things that I noticed too is, like, with Lamar is, I know everybody says playoff Lamar, but it's not, this isn't even like coming in the mind of playoff Lamar. This is like coming in the mind of what's going on to where all of a sudden he like feels like he's got to be forced to be in the pocket. Like every other game he knows he can use his feet to beat teams, but I felt like this game he was either being forced or like was not making the right. I don't know. It was just weird. He was staying in the pocket in times where normally he'd just take off. Like it didn't. I don't know. It seems odd that was going on. Like the strip sack fumble, it was man defense. He had a clear rushing lane. Nobody was looking at him. Like he probably could have ran for 30 fucking yards, but instead he just kept staying in the pocket. He did that on multiple times. So I don't know. It's just weird how that kind of like happens.
I'm gonna piss people off. I don't care. Lamar's good. He's not that good. He's he's closer to top 10 and at the end of top 10 than he is to top 5.
Well, the other one too is you ran the ball, not Lamar, but like as an offense, you didn't really run the ball. Gus Edwards' first run was for 15 yards, and he finished the game with 20 yards. Like,
yeah,
you were down.
No, they didn't.
You were down 10-0, or what was it, like 17 or 17? I don't remember, 14-3 or whatever. Like, you were down 2 scores, but very manageable or whatever, and you just kept like feeling like they had to throw the ball. It's like, run the ball. That's what you guys do. You guys were being successful with it. So many things that the Ravens needed to do better. Clearly, again, I'm going to bring up reffing has been terrible for both ways. Like, that game, you were just like, what the fuck is going on? You know?
Yeah.
The throwing in the triple coverage is dumb. You had the potential defensive pass interference, unlikely on that one. That one I'm not too worked up about completely because, like, the motherfucker's not getting the ball through triple coverage anyway.
But still, that was a bad call. Yeah. Well, are you talking about the Isaiah Likely?
No, that wasn't. The pick in the end zone, thrown in the triple coverage is dumb. But Isaiah Likely did get pushed before the ball was there, so like by rule, technically it's defensive pass interference. But Lamar made a terrible decision. The one that causes a lot of uproar really is that holding, that defensive holding on Likely that wasn't called, which should have been called clearly.
It was a bad call. It was.
So, it's just one of those things. It's just like, you want the refs to be good. Again, it's not going to happen. Like, watching the 49ers Lions game, I feel like it wasn't as bad as this Ravens Chiefs game. In terms of like overall officiating, you know, like, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully the Super Bowl's better. And then the NFC Championship game, the 49ers won 34, Lions 31. David Montgomery had 93 yards and a touchdown. CMC had 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the biggest controversy in this game was Dan Campbell not kicking the field goals on 2 4th downs and going for it and not getting them both times.
Sad. Lions fans, I'm sorry. I knew it. Here's the thing. I knew it. I called, someone said, oh, look, Jared Goff going to the Super Bowl. He's good. I was like, well, we'll see after the second half because I know how the Lions are. The same thing as, it was like watching a Vikings game. It was really, I felt so bad for him because I was like, as soon as that second half hit and then the momentum, that first drive that Brock Purdy drove them down the field and they threw a touchdown, I think. They threw a touchdown to Brandon Ayuk. And then like you could just feel the sails just deflating on that team. Like it just they just lost all momentum. They couldn't do anything. It just, I don't know. That team looked terrible after that. I saw wide receivers dropping wide open passes. Whichever Reynolds it is, Craig Reynolds or Josh Reynolds. Yep, dropping wide open passes. I saw players not getting open. For some reason the 49ers were just getting to Goff every single play. I wanted the Lions to make it to the Super Bowl, but honestly, I think the better team won in this aspect. Unfortunately, the 49ers had a good team. And honestly, I have to say, you got to give Brock Purdy credit. 2 NFC Championship games back-to-back years, and then is going to play a Super Bowl. And that second half, he balled out. He played really well. He was running the ball. He was throwing the ball. They got kind of lucky that Brandon Ayuk, where it should have been picked, but it got tipped, and then Brandon Ayuk caught it and took it into like the 5-yard line. I think it got ran in by CMC. It was crazy. It was a crazy game. It was a good game. It's just, Lions fans, I'm sorry. Dan Campbell said it right. He said this might have been our only shot at the Super Bowl. He's right. It's hard to get there, especially with franchises like the Lions or the Vikings, where they like never have that top tier team. They're always like, the third or best team in the NFC, and it just, I don't know, my heart goes out to him. I feel bad for him, but
Yeah, dude, Brock, I think in the playoffs has had like 5 or 6 passes that should have been intercepted, but like for some reason people don't know how to catch a ball all of a sudden.
so they're playing defense.
Yeah, once that missed interception, Brandon Ayuk catch, like after that, everything just went downhill. If the biggest thing for me is like I went through it with the Eagles with Doug Peterson on you live by the fourth down, go for the fourth down, you live by that, no matter fucking what, even if it's you're down 3 points, shit like that, with Doug Peterson, and that's what the Lions did. Dan Campbell was adamant on it on 2 times where, again, you're not guaranteed a field goal because their kicker has not been that good, but the game could have been completely different if you would have kicked those 2 field goals. But
fuck that.
Yeah,
everyone always says that, but I don't. Here's the thing: blame Dan Campbell all you want. Right call, wrong call. He wants to win a football game. Not, like as a football player, like
it's not like during the season he didn't ever go for it on 4. It's not like in those situations in any game where it's a close game, he wasn't going for it. It's not like it was out of the blue that he was doing it. He lived by it, and that's what he was going to stay by, which I respect. But again, if you kick the field goal, it's like whatever. Like if you kick the field goal and you miss, you're in the same situation. The only difference is the blame gets put on somebody different. The blame gets put on the kicker instead of the coach. So
yeah.
Well,
and good for him. Good for him taking responsibility for it. I mean, he said, I should have kicked the field goal. And good for him taking ownership. I still think Dan Campbell is a top 5 coach in the NFL. I like him. I don't think that Lions team is. I don't think that Lions team is stacked up enough to win a Super Bowl. Jared Goff is good, but he has to have players around him, which that offense is good, but they still could use another wide receiver, I think. Well, Jameson Williams is decent, but, you could use a solid third, the Reynolds boys, whatever. And that defense, great pass rushers, decent linebackers. Secondary is awful. You got to do something.
Yeah, you definitely need somebody that's going to be more consistent with their hands, clearly. Because, again, the outcome could be so much different if Reynolds didn't drop those 2 big passes. So, and you need more consistent play at the wide receiver position outside of Amon-Ra and Laporta. I mean, after that, you never, you didn't know if Jameson Williams was going to go off, if Reynolds was going to go off. You had no idea who really the next guy besides Amon-Ra and Laporta were going to be. So definitely looking at, I know you have Williams for, another 2 years, because he was a first rounder, at least 2 years. So you got him still.
He showed some flashes too.
Yeah, he's got the capability. I don't know what Reynolds is at, but you got to go get yourself either a clear cut number 2 or a guy that can be that two if Williamson takes off, get complete the 3.
Who I think comes to my head that I think would do really good on that team? Be a really solid pickup. Tyler Boyd.
Ooh, yeah, I like that one. Because that's the role
he's not someone that
that's the role that he plays now anyway.
Yeah, he's a very capable wide receiver. He was a number 1 for the Bengals for a lot of years. They got T. Higgins and what's his face, but he's gonna probably be cheaper. He's older. You get him, he'd be a good. He played in the slot for the Bengals. He probably wouldn't be able to do that with the Lions because Amon-Ra plays there. But I mean, he'd get a chance to play a lot of downs, and he'd kind of be more consistent target outside of Amon-Ra.
Yeah, really, just go get yourself a guy that just can play outside while Williams and Amon-Ra can eat on the other outside and slot. Just get yourself clearly
Mike Williams, someone
Yeah,
big, dude.
yeah, somebody. Yeah, exactly. Mike Williams, like something like that. I'm gonna throw bad betting into this, but clearly
Damn right.
we got a Super Bowl matchup. We're gonna dive into the Super Bowl next week since it's the week before. You know, things change, things happen. I don't know what's gonna really happen between now and then, but I'd rather just save it for next week with everything that's going on. More relevant, I guess, too. So bad betting. Last week we went 2-0.
Damn right we did. Damn right
I
we
was
did.
getting a little worried when the Lions were down 10. I was like, "You son of a bitch! You son of a bitch!"
Yep.
uh, this isn't gonna hit, and then it did. So if you parlayed them together, whoever listens, congratulations, you guys. Whatever you bet, if it was $10, I think the payout was $27. So congratulations on your $27.
We are the best.
If
We
you
are the
bet,
best.
if you didn't bet more, congratulations on that. For the playoffs, we went 9-3 overall. So we went above 500 in both regular season and playoffs. So
Yep. We're
uh,
getting better.
yeah, even with the Super Bowl, we'll still be, whatever we do for the Super Bowl, we'll still be over 500. So we did a great freaking job on that aspect. But like I said,
Hmm.
we're doing two halves today, basically. So that's the end of the first half.
What kind of cup are you using?
It's a it's a Shamrock, like a lucky. Well,
Oh,
no,
nice.
this isn't a 4-leaf clover. It's a 3-leaf clover. I got this cup when I worked at the casino back in the day.
See, I thought you were drinking out of like a cup you stole from like a restaurant. Is what it looked like. It looked like I didn't see the Shamrock, but it looked like a green like Coca-Cola cup or something.
uh, I've never stolen any. Allegedly, I used to take cups from glasses that I liked from bars and shot glasses. Allegedly, but no, this I got for free at the casino when I worked there. They did like a March, like casinos do giveaways and shit all the time, so they had a bunch left
Off
over.
off topic, since it'll be coming up in March, you got to come to that bar close to my house for just one night on a Friday. You can talk to the wife. You can make it happen. But we need to be down in Irish car bombs because I really fuck with some Irish car bombs.
Is that all we're drinking? Just our Irish car bombs all night?
Oh, all night Irish car bombs.
If
You
we
know,
all right,
for the
if
for the
we showed up at
IRA.
if we showed up at 6 o'clock, how long do you think it would take you until we had to leave?
For me to get drunk
Yeah, and like
or
be
like
like
me to get blacked out.
I need to go home.
Well, we could just walk to my house. It's that close. But
Ooh, public
oof,
detox.
at 6 o'clock. Um, I'd say by 9 I'd be good to go.
Just doing strictly Irish.
Irish car bombs.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's hard because Bailey's isn't really that hard though. Bailey's is like it's like what, like
So let's say we did one like every like 10 minutes. Five. Do you want to do 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
oh fuck me, dude. Well, for every 10 minutes, yeah, I'd be out of there probably in an hour,
All right,
skinny.
sounds good. Let's
Honestly,
do
that's
that.
6 of them.
We'll do that. We'll play for that then. We'll just can we get 10 Irish car bombs each, and we'll just go from there.
Dude, we'd be. Have you ever had one?
Yeah, it's been a while,
Oh, dude, Nick,
dude.
I think they're delicious, but I like Guinness. Do you like Guinness?
I fuck with it a little bit,
Guinness is like it depends on the mood, but it's okay.
dude.
It's not like
I
I'd be like chugging Guinness on the pod, but
like one of the go tos was I don't know.
yeah.
I usually just like did straight shots or like other like I don't know.
You ruined liquor for me, Skinny. You always know you will, and
Yeah.
you have. But the only beer I want to say this quick. The only beer that I think sucks ass. No, there's other beers that suck ass, but the beer that I hate the most, that's like everyone likes it. The one that's like it's not Guinness, but it's I think it's German Heineken. Heineken fucking sucks, dude. That is shitty beer. Shitty beer.
I drink most beers. I'm okay with most beers, so
You
it's
like
okay.
Heineken?
I'll drink it.
Yeah,
Again, I'll
but
drink it.
you don't like
No,
you don't like the first beer in
no,
outer space, dog.
no. Don't like 90 Light. All right, moving on. We're just gonna go over the UFL real quick. So there's 8 teams. We know the XFL and the USFL they combine. Dwayne the Rock Johnson is he the owner? Owner of it?
Yeah,
I believe.
owner.
Yeah. Part owner. I don't know if I think he partnered with some other people, but um, so they had their draft earlier mid this month, and like they did it where like you could keep players from your current roster, and then like you had it was like 3 different phases on how they did it with like XFL,
It was very hard to figure out stuff
Yeah,
about it. All
yeah,
they had was like they didn't have it in rounds. They had it in like teams. I looked into it
yeah,
a little bit.
yeah. It was different. It was weird, but it different. Uh, so I just kind of looked at like some of the rosters just to kind of see like a lot of guys that unless you're like deep into college football, you probably have never even heard of. But like we're St. Louis Battlehawk fans from the XFL, so I imagine we're gonna keep that going. Kaka. Oh yeah, show him. Yeah, hell yeah.
Kaka. No longer XFL though. US or UFL.
Yeah, but they came over from the XFL.
Yeah.
So the Battlehawks, they actually kept three guys that they had last year with Mike Rose. They're all Iowa State players, but Mike Rose, linebacker, Willie Harvey, the defensive end linebacker, and then Hakeem Butler, wide receiver, who led XFL in receiving yards. So
Oh, he did.
yeah, yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I think it was yards
How
and
many did he have?
touchdowns, dude, I don't know. I didn't write that down. I really wanted him to have a stint in the NFL because I think like Allen Lazard was good and is good. I think Hakeem Butler was better than Allen Lazard, but it's just crazy how like Allen Lazard's been able to make an NFL career and Hakeem Butler has not. But
Probably because Hakeem Butler got drafted to who? I know, obviously Lazard was at the Packers, but Hakeem Butler got a weird spot.
Lazard went undrafted.
Was it Arizona?
Yeah, Arizona.
Yeah.
Lazard went undrafted, signed with the Jags. They wanted to convert him to a tight end. Didn't want to be a tight end. Ended up with the Packers, and it worked out. So
Yeah.
Hakeem Butler
Yeah.
had a stint with the Cards. Came to the Eagles.
Eagles as a tight end.
Yeah, should have had a touchdown in the NFL, but they called pass interference on the defense, so he didn't get the ball. But the dude's like 6'5", 6'6", and then he played for the Steelers. He was on the Steelers earlier this season. But yeah, the Battlehawks bringing back 3 guys, all Iowa State players, like that. The Arlington Renegades, their 2 guys that stood out to me is Marquette King. Everybody knows him, punter. And then Vic Beasley.
Yeah, that's weird. I saw that. Why the fuck is Vic Beasley? Dude, Super Bowl. Dude was a Super Bowl starting defensive end or outside linebacker. What the fuck he was?
Could have been an MVP and
Yeah.
type thing if they don't lose 28-3, or they don't let the 28-3 come back. Yeah, I was like, wow, all right. Why Marquette King is somehow not in the league either, I don't know, but whatever. The Birmingham Stallions, they got Adrian Martinez at quarterback. He played at was it Kansas State?
Nebraska.
Or Nebraska.
I thought it was Nebraska. Look it up.
Or did he play at both? I feel like he was in the college for a while.
I remember a Martinez in Nebraska. If I'm right, Skinny, you better check your college knowledge, dude.
He played at football at Kansas State and Nebraska. Like I said, yeah.
What?
Yeah, look at you.
What?
And then you ready
What?
for this? You know who they have at running back? Bo Scarborough.
Oh, from Alabama.
Yeah, the guy that was supposed to be the next Derrick Henry.
Oh, what? What? God, Marcus is on fire. Ask me more. Ask me more.
The next team, the DC Defenders, they actually have a bunch of Iowa boys. I didn't even write down anybody else, just Iowa boys. They got Jake Plum, the tackle from Iowa, Brandon Smith, he's a wide receiver from Iowa, and then they got Michael Joseph straight out of Dubuque. So got some Iowa boys on there, either born and raised or played. Houston Roughnecks, Reuben Foster. You remember him?
Yes, the linebacker?
Yeah, he was a 49ers linebacker, was the number 3 on Defensive Rookie of the Year voting in 2017.
Yeah.
Like,
really?
wow, crazy that, it's just great.
People fall off, man.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The Memphis Showboats, that fucking name is terrible. First of all, the Showboats, what the fuck? They don't have shit. I didn't look into, like, any other players. Like, when I looked at them real quick, I didn't notice a single fucking one. So, probably the worst team in the league. I don't know. Then you got the Michigan Panthers. Here you go. Corey Coleman.
Baylor.
Gonna go cry into your coach's office and ask why aren't you playing me with the first team while he's doing second team reps.
Wait, is Corey Coleman? No, Corey Coleman's the Browns.
Yeah.
Or is that the? Okay.
Yeah.
I can never remember.
Remember
I mix him up with the guy that played for the Jets.
He played with the Chiefs too briefly.
Yeah, I mix him up all the time with the guy that played with the Jets, the guy that just retired this year, the wide receiver. Titans, then Jets. Quit because
Is his last name Coleman also?
I don't think it's Coleman, it's Corey. Dude, he just retired. He was like a stud. He was their second wide receiver last year. Fuck,
David,
dude, I
Corey
can't
Davis. Sorry, I was.
Yes,
Yeah,
I always get them.
I was trying to think of Coleman last names. Corey Davis, and then they also have the Nakua brothers, the other two, the older two. They got Kai, the free safety, and then Samson, the wide receiver. So Puka's 2 oldest brothers are playing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Michigan. So
Nice, dude. Nice.
Yeah.
Not as good as Puka, the superstar Puka Nakua.
They all went to BYU. Samson and him played together and started at Utah? No. Yeah? And then they went to BYU together. Yeah. And lastly, the San Antonio... I can't even read my writing, so I apologize. They got Landon Akers, wide receiver from Iowa State. Jack Cohen. You know who Jack Cohen is?
Mm-mm.
Played quarterback at Notre Dame last couple of years. Then they got Kalen Ballage at running back.
Really?
Former
That's a name that I haven't heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard Kalen Ballage in a long time.
And then
Kalen Ballage.
lastly, they got
Next big thing.
They got an Iowa boy too, but this guy's from Grandview. They got a Nate Wheeland from Grandview playing for them. So some Iowa State, and Iowa natives being represented in the UFL also. So shout out to them. Next one, playoff standouts. I don't know how many you did. How many you want to do?
I just did one.
Okay, you go ahead, start.
I just did one. You know, some people are probably sick of the name, but I don't care. Travis Kelce has been a freaking dog in the playoffs. This man... Gotta get to the right page. Has had this season in 3 games. Is it 23 catches? Oh my god, look at this.
Well, fuck, he had
How did
11
they
last
do?
week, so.
I don't know if that's right. I know he has 262 yards, 11.4 yards per catch, 87.3 yards a game, 3 touchdowns. That doesn't sound right, though. 3 touchdowns only? Well, 3 touchdowns. Dude's been balling out all playoffs. He's just been there, like that catch that he had. Patty Mahomes scrambling, throws a wobbler.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce comes over, clutch catch, clutch play. I mean, I'm so sick of seeing stuff about Taylor Swift because I don't give a shit about Taylor Swift at all. It's the NFL. I don't care how much money she makes the Chiefs in the NFL. It's boring. It's not cool. But Travis Kelce's still good.
$300+ million, but yeah.
Yeah. Pocket changed to $1 billion company.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. What's crazy is he had 5 touchdowns all season, and he's had more than half in the 3 games they've played. You know, like he turned it on when they needed it. You know, he
has. He's been good. He's been making good plays.
Maybe the knee
He's been fired up.
Yeah, maybe the knee was impacting him a little bit more earlier in the season, even though he was still having decent yardage. I don't know. The touchdowns just really threw me off. Also, you know, he now has the most receptions in playoff history, passing Jerry Rice, which
beat Jerry Rice, which is insane.
Which is fucking crazy because Jerry Rice still has him in yards by like a fuck ton. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's like.
Well, Travis catches dink and dunk stuff all the time, dude. Jerry was actually going running post routes and go routes.
True. But Travis
taking
Kelce,
slants to the house.
Travis Kelce turned it up in the playoffs. So.
Yeah, he has. Yes.
So I did 2. My first one is Aiden Hutchinson for the Lions.
He's been good.
3 sacks. Currently leads the playoffs in sacks with 3. That's all I really wrote down for him is like just his sacks. I mean, he younger guy, first playoff experience. Unfortunately, against the 49ers, he didn't do anything because really he's not known for his run stopping and all that. He's literally a go get the quarterback, and that 49ers line kept him in check.
It was good.
But through 2 games, had 3 sacks. I think he's got a half sack lead right now to the next person which is a Chief. So, you know, potentially, depending on how this Super Bowl goes, he could either tie,
lead the playoffs,
lead it. So I think he stood out. And then one that's probably not really thought about or like considered because his, you know, the hype around everybody else on the team, or at least the quarterback, was Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's like Jordan Love hype.
Games.
First game, he puts up 3 touchdowns, 118 yards against a Dallas defense that's top 5, top 10 in the league.
Yeah.
And then walks into San Francisco and puts up 108 yards against a top 5, like 2 top 10 defenses in the league, back-to-back 100-yard games. For a guy that was underutilized, was injured, was thought he's done, you know, like down on his downfall. To go do that in the playoffs shows a lot that he's still got a lot left in the tank, for one. Just impressive. Like, I didn't think he'd get 50 yards against San Francisco. I'm not gonna lie. It was one of those things.
Yeah, that's a hard D.
And then, you know, he was shout out to both, you know, their line clearly being able to help him out there. But 3 touchdowns against Dallas, crazy. Nope, crazy.
And you know, to think, all he needed was 10 more yards or 1 catch or whatever, and you would have been a champion of fantasy football.
Fuck you. Yes.
Shout out to Mark. I know.
But yeah, Aaron Jones is one of those guys that like, if you let him just be the number one back, he's fine. Like, stop bringing in AJ Dillon. Stop. Like, Aaron Jones clearly showed that.
Free Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. Like, fuck, man. Fuck. Like, fuck.
I agree.
But yeah, no, very good. So last part we did was we just did 3 good moves, 3 bad moves that an organization did or whatever from either free agency last year all the way through the season, anything, whatever. So do you want to start with the bad and then end with the good, or do you want to? We'll start with the bad.
Let's end with the good.
Yeah, let's start with the bad.
With the good.
So what's your first bad move?
Guys, I said it once, said it twice, said it 3 times. I did not like the first round selection of Emmanuel Forbes. Dude is undersized. He doesn't play bigger than the size. He's very, very skinny for a DB. He got benched this year like twice. And I don't think he ended up even being the starter. The fact that he got taken over players like, I don't know all the corners that got drafted over him, but I know that Christian Gonzalez got drafted over him.
No, well, he got drafted right before Christian Gonzalez.
He got drafted before Christian Gonzalez. He got drafted before a lot of these players. I said it. He has decent ball skills, but he's too skinny and he's gonna have a hard time. And people like DK Metcalf, chomp, 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 ate him up. People, bigger wide receivers, he can't hang with them. Like, he shouldn't have been a first round pick. He should have been a guy that's second, third round pick, develop him a little bit, bulk him up a little bit so they could be that. And then maybe he could have some, but like first round's too much. But Commanders do what Commanders do. So
yeah, I think this year their ultimate goal in the offseason, if you're on the Commanders, is to add 15 pounds on that kid.
At least.
Yeah.
At least.
15 pounds minimum.
Because he's not that much smaller than Devin Witherspoon, but he plays so small. Devin Witherspoon plays like he's 210, dude.
Oh, yeah. Just beef him up a little bit, work with him, see what they can do there. Especially with their coach. I mean, they still haven't figured that out, so.
Yeah.
So if if you got Bill Belichick, I mean, they've had great DBs, so might be something they could work out. I don't know. Dan Quinn is, I guess, he's a good defensive guy. My first one is the Chargers drafting Quentin Johnston. I loved this pick at the time of it happening, just based off of Quentin Johnston, 6'4", he's fast, he can get up, he could do everything that you want in a wide receiver, but did not show that his rookie year, and he did not step up when he needed to when there's injuries. Like when Mike Williams went down, I was like, man, this is his time to shine. He had 431 yards in the season, 2 touchdowns, 56.7 catch percentage, which, I mean, isn't bad, but like could be a hell of a lot better. The biggest issue with that draft pick is the next 2 wide receivers that went right after him were Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison. Those 2 had phenomenal seasons.
Could have had Puka.
Well, Puka
could have had Rashid Rice.
Okay, but
I know
Rashid Rice was a later second round pick, and Puka was a 6th, 7th round.
But still,
realistically, for that time, Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison.
You tell me that being the second wide receiver on a Chargers and a Justin Herbert-led offense, you tell me that's a better position than being Puka Nacua, who had to play with Matthew Stafford and whoever else was playing, or Zay Flowers playing with Lamar, who Lamar is not as good of a quarterback as Kirk Cousins. I said it. I meant it, too. Like, I don't know. Like, no, there were wide receivers that did a lot more with less. Jordan Addison was the number 2 for Minnesota. Number 3. Honestly, TJ was better. TJ was Minnesota's number 2 target, and Jordan Addison did way better than Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnson's issue is he's big, but he plays like Julian Edelman, man.
He
He plays little. He does not play to his size.
I agree.
He doesn't. My next one is Panthers hiring Frank Reich.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't know my list.
I know. I don't. I sent you mine, so we didn't do the same one. But I want to hear this. That's actually pretty interesting.
I don't know if I'm going to blame it all on Frank Reich, but I think that for the Panthers to be rebuilding, I mean, they thought they were doing really well. Whatever they had, what's his face, Matt Rule before. Like, yeah, we're good enough. We're going to trade the number 12 pick for the first pick, and then trade a couple picks and DJ Moore, whatever. That team is not where they acted like they were. That defense is not that good. Like if you're going to get Frank Reich and they didn't even give him a full season to do something. They didn't do anything with that team. It didn't make any sense. Like Adam Thielen's your number 1 wide receiver, who had a good year, but come on. After that, it was DJ Shark, Tommy Tremble, like
Jonathan
freaking
Bingo,
the corpse of
Hayden Hurst,
Jonathan Bingo, Hayden Hurst. The corpse of freaking Miles Sanders, who did not pan out at all. Most overrated. Miles Sanders. We're signing all year. Sucks. Terrible. Bad signing. But the Eagles used him right. He's just not good. I don't know that Bryce Young may be a bust too. I don't know. I don't know if I would say that yet because he doesn't have that good of a team. The offensive line sucks. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess now that, like you said, Frank Reich, are you meaning like you think Frank Reich was like, one, you shouldn't have hired him if you're going to fire him super quick, like.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And
like,
then
I don't
two,
think Frank Reich
he probably had some impact on the decision making of what they were going to do moving forward. So, yeah, I guess I could see that. I do kind of agree. Again, I've said it on the pod before. Let them have 1 to 2 years. Like, I know you want to win right away.
You got to.
You have to. Look at
It took Dan Campbell
exactly.
3 years.
Exactly. You got to be committed to let them do something. Give them 1 to 2 years, not 6 games. So, I agree. My next one is the one that I was right about all fucking season. Coming into the year, Raiders signing Jimmy Garoppolo.
You were. I was wrong.
He went 3-3 as a starter, 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He's got he signed a 3-year, $7 million deal, $45 million of that guaranteed. The issue now is you weren't winning. You have a rookie quarterback that came in and won some games. Got a new, probably going to play him or whatever. I don't know what they're going to do because they probably are just going to have to eat the cap space for him, which you want to know how much dead cap it is for them to get rid of him? $28 million, which you can split over the next 2 years, but still that's quite a bit of dead cap.
It's decent amount.
You can't trade him because you want to know the only you could trade him, but no team with the cap space is going to want him, and the only quarterback that has a relatively contract that's relatively around his is Geno Smith, which the Seahawks aren't going to trade for him because Geno's actually producing more than what Jimmy G is. Made Devontae look terrible. Gosh,
yeah,
Jimmy G, just terrible signing. Terrible contract to have. I know in terms of per year it's less than $25 million, which is cheap, but you're not going to take him on as a backup. You don't want him as a backup quarterback making $25 million. You want him making 15 or less, even that, less than 10. And you're not going to start him because he's not winning any games. So Jimmy G, terrible Terrible signing.
Bad. I was a Jimmy G defender. I was wrong. He's bad. He was really bad. My next one is Saints signing Derek Carr. Derek Carr sucks, guys. He's not good. He couldn't elevate anyone on the Saints team. Honestly, unpopular opinion. Yeah, he's a wild card. Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah, you don't know what he's gonna do. Fucking just let Jameis be the starter, dude. Cheaper, more entertaining to watch, and honestly, he probably gives that team a better chance of winning because Derek Carr didn't do anything. He couldn't hit freaking Chris Olave. Didn't really elevate him. Dumped down the ball to Kamara, so Kamara had a field year. But I don't know, just that offense was so bad. So bad. Dennis Allen should have got fired too. But
yeah, I'll admit, I think I'm finally off the Derek Carr train. I didn't think he was a bad quarterback, but this year just kind of showed. Come on, their offensive line was not good, but it's do something more at least. It was literally.
I was told that Derek Carr was better than Kirk Cousins.
It's literally your division to win, and you lost it with that team. Yeah, it was sad. I wanted him to do good, but couldn't.
I agree.
So my last bad signing is James Bradberry. Eagles re-signing James Bradberry. Last year he had a good season. Him and Slay, coming off the Super Bowl, a lot of it's run it back, make small changes, don't really change much. But the two biggest changes, I almost kind of want to say is even more of signing James Bradberry is the Eagles letting go their offensive defensive coordinators, because that's what made their offensive defense good in terms of play calling and all that. But he had one interception all year, one fumble recovery, 13 pass deflections. The problem with James Bradberry came in the last 5 games when we needed it the most. He had 80+% catch percentage against him on 3 of the last 5 games. That's not going to win games.
You guys were really bad though. Then really, that team was
the
not.
Seahawks game, we were up. They let him drive down the field. Every play went to him. The Bucks game, every crucial play, he was getting burnt all the time. So at this point, we're probably going to keep him on the roster just because if we release him or if we keep him, it doesn't make much of a cap difference. I think it's only $1 million or $2. So if you keep him, you either draft or trade for or whatever some actual DBs. Let him be wide DB 3-4. Adding a new defensive coordinator could make an impact too. Because I say he played bad, but looking at his stats over his career, this is his mid section of worst, in terms of his best and his worst years. He was right in the middle. So he could be better. He could have been worse. But signing him this year did not pan out when we needed him to be the wide receiver or DB1 with Slay out and when he had to be that guy. So.
Yeah, I agree. On to good signings.
Yeah, brighten up the mood. Woo!
Or good mood.
Yeah, good moves.
Ooh, positive. The Bears trading for DJ Moore. DJ Moore was a bona fide stud. Best career year in every category. Yards, touchdowns, basically everything. He was a sure number 1 for whether it was Justin Fields or their backup quarterback that I can't think of his name. But white guy that's basically a white Justin Fields, kind of fast.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, what is his name? I can't think of it now.
Something like a B or something, I can't remember. But Like he did really well. That trade, was in the Bears' favor. Seemed like they got some decent picks for it and did some decent things with it. And this year they got two first.
Yeah. Tyson Bagent. Bagent?
Badgett.
Badgett. Yeah, there
Badgett.
you go.
Tyson Badgett. Yeah, he did. I mean, DJ Moore was a bona fide stud. Did a lot of things. Looked good. Good player.
Yeah. Well, and then you also have to think with that, Chicago was able to go and get Darnell Wright at offensive tackle, who, played decent for his first year. You not only got DJ Moore, but you also got a lineman to help protect your, hopefully, whatever you want to call it, franchise. I guess I'll call it franchise quarterback right now, but depending on how this draft goes, whatever they do with him, but yeah, that was a good trade by the Bears. I mean, the organization in
Yeah, it was. It was.
instead of taking Bryce Young potentially first overall and having not good success, because what wide receivers do they even have? It just yeah. The Bears definitely won that won that trade.
I agree.
As of now, but my first one is the Pats drafting Demario Douglas. Like this one, it kind of goes a little like unthought of, just because it's not like he was putting up like wide receiver one numbers, even though he ended the season as the Pats wide receiver one, even though
I'm sure he did.
wasn't. He was a 6th-round pick.
Sorry, Juju.
Started 7 games. Had 561 yards, 0 touchdowns. And he was top 10 wide receiver yards of all the rookies, which I think I think he was like the 27th or 28th taken. So, he only started 7 games. I know he played in some other ones, but for a team that didn't have any passing weapons besides their tight ends, mainly Hunter Henry, he showed up. I mean, now it's moving forward. You have a guy that can play in your slot position. Go get yourself a wide receiver one. Go get yourself in maybe a more adamant quarterback. Like, if they didn't draft him, if they went another route, who knows what that offense would have looked like this year when it came to the pass game, because it's crazy to think that he led that team with 561 yards. Crazy.
That is crazy to think. It's like some Jarius Wright shit, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. My next one is the Texans hiring D'Amico Ryan. That Texans team, regardless of how it ended, they went above and beyond all expectations that anyone could have had for that team.
Yeah.
With this, you can put them taking C.J. Stroud 2nd overall, because C.J. Stroud should have been number 1 overall.
Well, and remember, everybody was like, the dude just not smart.
He's a dum-dum, yeah. And he's gone out and fucking zinged the ball. That defense played a lot better. That offense has some sneaky weapons on there, and he did a good job coaching that team this year.
Yeah, I'm excited that their coordinators could have left, it sounds like, and they decided to stay, their offensive coordinator. I'm excited to see what that team does next year. Like, they're only going to get better, like with what they have. They're all very young offense. You add in a more competent running back potentially, and then you just keep building that defense. That's a scary team coming into next year again. And again, it's one of those where it's like, you get a guy that's going to build a culture, build an actual culture. He's not done in a year, not done in 6 games. He's built a culture. He's building a culture. And with that culture, you're going to come in and you're going to play hard and win games.
I agree. Good coach.
My next one is the Panthers signing Adam Thielen. You like that one, because you are an Adam Thielen man. Oh, what the?
Oh, you see? Fireworks, dude.
Dude.
It's the thing. Wait, let's see.
You like that? You like that one?
You like that? You like that one?
I don't know. It's not working. It only does it every now and then. I don't know. It just randomly does those things. He
It does.
finished
It
the
does it
season.
for me all the time.
Finished the season with 1,014 yards, had 4
Yep.
touchdowns. He was 35% of Bryce Young's total passing yards, 26% of the share targets, and 36% of the TD shares of Bryce Young. He was literally the only thing Bryce Young had.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine how disastrous it would have been for Bryce Young and that Panthers offense if they did not have Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen, yeah. Adam Thielen still has some kick left to him. You know, he's
And
a great
what
player.
is it, a three-year deal, I think? So he's got him next 2 years. Let Bryce, if Bryce turns out to not be a bust, he's got his Mr. Reliable, his go-to guy.
Yep.
Now figure out everything around him. Figure out everything else.
I don't think Bryce Young's going to be a bust. I think we got a couple years to figure that out.
Yeah. Well, again, when you're usually drafted in the top part of the draft, you're going to a team that usually isn't good yet.
Sucks.
And it all comes down to management and coaching to get the players around you. I mean, the Rams had their first round pick years ago, and they were eventually able to win a Super Bowl or go, make the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's the team that you're able to build and get around you. So hopefully they're competent enough to help Bryce Young out and get more than just Adam Thielen to him, because everybody else for him has not been doing well for him on the offensive side.
Super Bowl caliber. Jared Goff, drafted by, who is it? Who drafted him? Do you remember? For the Rams, the coach before Sean McVay?
No.
Jeff Fisher. Do you remember Jeff Fisher?
Yeah, I remember Jeff Fisher. Just, I couldn't have told you when he was a coach.
I can tell you. I remember.
Yeah, you're eating your member berries.
My member berries, they're good. My last one is Baker Mayfield to the Bucks.
Yeah.
He revitalized his career. He's going to get paid real money this offseason, regardless of if he stays with the Bucks or if he's a future Minnesota Viking. He's going to make some decent money. He played his tail off, man. And I called this one out. I actually had a little friendly board bet with Scott, who I work with, and I bet that Baker would throw for over 25 touchdowns and I think it was 3,000 yards or something like that. And he crushed both of them. He went and played and won a playoff game, beat the Eagles. I don't know. Baker played really well. Baker showed that he is still a serviceable starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. Again, it's a roster that if you have at least above average quarterback, you're gonna be able to do stuff. Like Jameis is, I'd probably say, an average quarterback just because of his turnovers. If he didn't have his turnovers, I think he'd be well above average with them. But you get an above average quarterback, which I think Baker has kind of always been. Just again, he's been bounced around with head coaches and schemes and teams. I mean, shit, he went in 3 days after signing with the Rams.
Injuries.
Yeah, 3 days after signing with the Rams or whatever, 5 days, 3 days, whatever, and wins a game. He's competent. He's competent enough to do it. He's got the skill to do it. He was, a Heisman and number 1 pick overall for a reason, and he's definitely shown.
He's got that fire.
Yeah, and like you said, Baker was playing to prove something, and when you're playing with when Baker's like that, he's gonna play his best ball. No fucks given.
Always does.
Gonna leave it all out. So, yeah. Depending on where the Bucks could have had Kyle Trask all year or whatever, and probably win 4 games. So, props to them. So yeah, I think it's good for them. My last one is Jesse Bates signing with the Falcons. The Falcons had a lot of issues, a lot of bad things. Jesse Bates is a safety that a lot of teams wanted. I wanted the Eagles to go get him. He had a career high 6 interceptions, 11 pass deflections, career high in total tackles at 132. Was a Pro Bowler this year. They've got him locked up on a contract. You know, that's if there's one thing that team defense is sitting well with, it's that safety. You got AJ Terrell, Jeff Okudah at DB. You got, after that, it's really, I guess they have that defensive interior guy. I always forget his name.
Grady Jarrett.
Yeah, Grady Jarrett. But after that, you don't really have anything else. He kind of was that base, that backbone of that defense. You go and build that defense now. Get that offense figured out. I think Jesse Bates was a really good pick for him. I think that because again they're nitty gritty, and he plays exactly like how the Falcons want to play. If they don't have him at safety, who knows how much worse that defense could have been on the backside. What they have making up for it, and then. I know with these, clearly there's guys like Puka that we left off this list, and I kind of went for ones that nobody really talked about, like nothing really thought about, and clearly you did too, but like clearly Puka was a good draft pick, and you went D'Amico Ryan's route, CJ Stroud, a good draft pick, Jordan Addison for the Viking, there were so many different routes you could have went.
Rashid Rice, Zay Flowers.
Yeah. The Colts signing Sean Desai as head coach. There's so many different routes you could have went with this.
All right, wait. Who was the biggest steal in last year's draft?
The biggest steal? Well, to me, I feel like it's got to be Puka.
Yeah, Puka was, dude. Puka was so good,
in terms of success, I'd probably say
Stroud.
What?
Stroud.
Yeah, I'd probably say Stroud or Rice. I mean, nobody thought for the Chiefs they'd have a
Oh yeah, Rice.
Like, in the second
dude,
round.
but Rice is so fun to watch because he's not really like. He's what Kadarius Toney was supposed to be.
Yeah.
They get the ball into his hands and he's electric.
All right.
Huh?
And lastly, our pick'ems. Last week I went 1-1, so I finished the playoffs 6-6. Marcus, you were 6-4. I don't know what you did last week. Did you go 1-1 too? Did you do the Chiefs and Lions?
All
right, so you went 7-5. Yeah.
So
you finished.
What'd you go?
6-6. Ooh, I just got the chills.
That's scaring you.
So we went 500 on both. 500 plus on both the playoffs and the regular season. Well, I guess we'll have one more pick'em. We'll see if. I guess I might go under 500 on the playoff pick'ems.
Wait! Before we say who it is, obviously we're not going to pick this year. We got a week. Who are you gearing towards for next week? Just who do you want? Or who do you want?
It's not who I want. It's who I can't. Again, I can't bet against them. I got to lean on the Chiefs because I just can't bet against them. I would love to see Brock Purdy win a Super Bowl because as an Iowa State guy and an Iowa State fan,
that'd be kind of cool.
And the one guy that said Brock Purdy is capable of being an NFL star in the Super Bowl or in the NFL.
That you did for a long time.
I'd like to see him win, but again, it's just you can't bet against the Chiefs and Patty Mahomes. It's so hard to do. So we got some time to think about this.
Fuck that! You can't bet against Taylor Swift, dude. And the NFL's greed for money. So,
all right, well, catch us next week. We're gonna again go follow us on X _drunk_guys_pod. the Instagram, YouTube,
Spotify.
Spotify. I'm making an official TikTok because our last TikTok account wasn't being ran well, so I'm gonna go.
We fired little Austin.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go and get that started up. And we're at 47 subscribers. Let's get to that 50 here in the next 3 weeks. Y'all have a great rest of your day, night, whatever. Thanks for listening.
Like and subscribe.